Newsfirst, where the people come first. We'll start off with a look at your headlines this afternoon. Fuel only for essential services. People join queues to obtain tokens. Media excluded from essential services list for fuel supply. Sri Lanka to open fuel import and retail sales market to companies from oil-producing nations. CID summons journalist. 46 people found dead in an abandoned lorry in Texas. Welcome to the news. In your top story this afternoon, the distribution of fuel to filling stations has been suspended. Authorities say fuel is only being sold for essential services at the moment. Fuel will only be sold to selected essential services from today. These services are public transport, health, ports and Triforces. Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited says fuel is being supplied to hospitals. However, media institutions that provide information to the general public 24/7 have not been included in the essential services criteria. Telecommunication service providers and banks have also not been considered as essential services. Media institutions play a crucial role in serving the public by reporting news throughout the day. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Anusha Palpita told Newsfirst discussions are taking place with the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Sri Lanka Transport Board to only sell diesel to media institutions. However, he said petrol will not be delivered. Joint Cabinet spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena said fuel will only be sold for essential services. As the Minister of Mass Media, Bandula Gunawardena has not made any comment on supplying fuel for media institutions. Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, says the Cabinet has agreed to open up Sri Lanka's fuel import and retail sales market to companies from oil-producing nations. Selected outlets of the existing 1,190 filling stations run by Sipetco and new filling stations will be made available for Lanka IOC and new companies. The minister noted that the Sapugaskanda refinery will be run by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. This week, the government announced that fuel will be sold based on a token system. Now, many drivers had collected their tokens at filling stations since yesterday. But last night, the government said that fuel will only be sold for essential services.
People of Vehara held a protest by blocking the Kurunegala-Colombo main road at 11 last night. They claimed that a fuel bowser containing stocks that should be sold to them was moved to another filling station.
අපි දවල් ආවේ මේ දැනගත්තට පස්සේ 11ට විතර ආවේ. ඒ 11 ඉඳන් තාම මේ වෙනකම් මගේ පුතයි මෙතන අකන්න වුණවත් නැහැ අපිට. 7:00 විතර ආවේ. ඔව්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔෆිස් වල ගිහලා මේක ග්‍රීන් වෙලා තියෙන හින්දා ඔෆිස් වල ගිහලා නිවාඩු දාලා ආව මෙතන තෙල් ගහගන්න. ඉතින් එහෙම ග්‍රීන් වෙලා තිබ්බේ නැත්නම් අපි එන්නේ නැහනේ.
Filling stations in Kantale have not received a new fuel stocks. People who were in queue for many hours held a protest demanding fuel. The protest was held by blocking the road opposite the Kantale Central College. Police intervened to disperse the protesters. For 8 days, people have been in queue at the Surya Vava filling station in Hambantota.
දැන් දවස් 7ක් විතර එනවා මෙතන දුක් විඳිනවා බල්ලෝ එහෙන් උලිච්චල යන්න හදනවා අපේ පාලකයන්ගේ හොඳකම තමයි මේ ඉතින්.
Health workers at the Damadaniya Base Hospital held a protest due to the fuel crisis yesterday. They said that they are not able to perform their duties despite being part of essential services.
සමාවයද සිටිනා මේ වෙලාවේ අපි ඉන්න ඕන නැතන ඉන්න නැතුව ඒ රෝගීන්ගෙන් සමාවය ලෙන අපිට ඔබලන් ඉන්න නැතුව මෙතනට අවිල්ලා ඉන්න සිද්ධුණෙක් ගැන නමුත් අපි මෙතනට ආවේ ඔබ දාලා අපිට ඔබ සුරකින්න.
For about 6 days, people have been standing in line at filling stations in the Anuradhapura town. However, fuel had not been sold at any of them.
කියන්න දෙයක් නැහැ ඉතින් අයියා දැන් දවස් දෙකේ තුනේ අපේ මේ මිනිස්සු දුක් විඳිනවා අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා කියලා අපි මොකද අපේ බඩගින්න නෙමෙයිද.
People were in long queues at a filling station in the Horana town today.
නෑ කාංචන ඇමතුමාට අදයි කටාර යන්න ඕනුනේ. ඉතින් මෙච්චර රටේ තත්ත්වයක් තියෙද්දි තෙල් තන්තියේ බින්දුර බහිනකම් ඉඳලා තමයි මේ රට යන්න ඉදුනේ මේ තෙල් ටික හොයන්න. මේක ඉස්සලා විසඳුමක් දෙන්න බෑ මේකට නේද? මේ අදී මෙච්චර දෙයක් නෙවෙයි මේ.
Shanta Silva is the Joint Secretary of the Ceylon Petroleum Private Bowser Owners Association. He says his association had not been informed officially of the government's decision to only sell fuel for essential services. Silva said he is not aware of whether fuel can be sold to people who were issued tokens at filling stations yesterday. Now, the number of vehicles entering the Colombo city dropped today as a result of the fuel crisis. Let's take a look at how transport services were in operation across the country.
This was the situation in Colombo this morning. Limited number of private buses were in operation, while Sri Lanka Railways operated trains as per the existing timetable. Although a limited number of private buses were operating from Qatar, passenger numbers had dropped. A large number of passengers were seen at the Qalania train station due to limited bus services. This was the situation in Panadura this morning. A large number of passengers were seen at the Panadura train station due to limited bus services. The usual hustle and bustle on Galle Road was not experienced today. Bus operations on the Southern Expressway was limited today due to the fuel crisis. Limited number of buses were operating from Ganemulla and many opted to travel by train. Students and office staff were severely inconvenienced due to the fuel crisis. The Sri Lanka Transport Board says the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has provided sufficient fuel stocks to maintain public transport, including school transport services. All schools in the Colombo region, schools in the suburbs of the Western Province and in major cities in other provinces will be closed until the 10th of July. However, schools that do not have an issue in transport facilities can operate during this period. Yet, there are some schools which are operational with low turnout of students due to the fuel crisis. The main reason for this is because their parents are spending hours, days and even weeks at filling stations.
කර්මයක්ද මේක ඈ මේ මෑනකට අනාගතේ දරුවනේ අපේ බී වෙන්නේ මේ දරුවන්ට මේ ඉගෙන ගන්න බැරි විච්චාම අද ළමයි එක්කිනෙකුටත් ඉස්කෝලේ යන්න නැහැ පෙලක් කියවලා ඒ ඉතින් ප්‍රශ්න මාර
News First with the people.
Amidst this crisis, Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara and the Minister of Environment Nasir Ahmed left for Qatar last night. They expected to hold talks with Qatari authorities on the possibility of obtaining fuel required by the country. The duty manager at the Bandar Naika International Airport said the two ministers had left the country at around 8:15 last night. Now, footage circulating on social media shows how people had expressed their anger towards former Minister Sarath Weerasekara. The incident is said to have taken place in Palawata when the minister was in his vehicle. In other news this afternoon, journalist Tharindu Uduwaragedara was summoned to the Criminal Investigations Department today.
Journalist Tharindu Uduwaragedara was summoned to the CID to inquire into certain news headlines. When he visited the CID premises, several civil activists staged a silent protest in support of him opposite the CID premises.
Education Minister Dr. Susil Premajayantha left for France this morning. He will attend the Asia-Pacific Regional Education Ministers Conference at the UNESCO headquarters. The conference aims at ensuring quality education in countries affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the Sri Lanka Navy has arrested 47 people who attempted to illegally migrate to Australia.
The Sri Lanka Navy said 34 men, 6 women and 7 children were arrested in the seas of Negombo. They were residents of Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mana, Vennapua, Nathandia, Chilau and Batiklo.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has published a gazette establishing a new Ministry of Technology and Investment Promotion. The institutions that come under this ministry are the Board of Investment, the Colombo Port City Economic Commission, all projects related to the Colombo Port City, the Department of Immigration and Immigration, the Colombo Lotus Tower Management Company Private Limited and Technopark Development Company Private Limited, in addition to the information technology parks in the country. To find alternative methods to commute during the fuel crisis, we leave you this afternoon with footage circulating on social media. You're up to date with the latest stories here on News First. Thanks for stopping by. More news follows on our website. www.newsfirst.lk is the address. I've been Hassan Shazali. Take care and God bless.